Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of The Engineer. We haven't had one of these episodes in quite a long time, but I found some footage on my hard drive of a really nice game of Rogue Transmission Conquest Large in the tank, and thought, why not do some comms over the top of it to help some of you guys out who are still playing on this game, wanted to hit a nice kill streak. So overall, I think we did go over 100 kills in this streak. I think it was about 104, 105 kills, which isn't too bad, especially thinking about the map that we're playing on. I know Rogue Transmission is a very nice tanking map, but when you're trying to play the objective and you're spending a lot of time in one-on-one battles with tanks, you've got jets, you've got the attack helicopter, if the enemy team have it, to contend with at once, it can be quite a difficult prospect. I've made videos in the past about this map and listed a couple of really nice places that you can sort of position your tank, and a couple of the rotations that you can make just to make sure that you keep flags capped and you don't get swamped by enemy armor. But again, just watching this video through, you'll be able to see a couple of the little areas that I like to position myself in, and areas that I like to face my tank. One thing that I would straight away mention though is if you're playing from the Chinese side like I am, Echo isn't exactly the most important flag to spend a lot of your time on. If the enemy are really intent on capping it, you're going to struggle in the tank to get hold of it. I mean, you can drop all the way back to your base and shoot them through that little gap into the building, but if your team isn't interested in going there, there is no point in you sitting there in a tank, exposing yourself to RPGs, C4 off the roof, and all the rest of it. You might as well get under the dish, try and cap Charlie, or get up the side and cap Delta, and use those two as sort of a diversion for the enemy to push them back. That's something that I've really found quite useful. The same goes for playing on the Russian side, however I find that gimme flag a lot easier. Alpha is a lot easier to take in a tank than Echo. So in terms of my loadout for this video, what I have chosen to go with, and remember this is pre-patch, this was about a month ago, but it would still be the same even with the patch a couple of days ago. What I've chosen to go for is the AP shell and the HMG. Now the reason I'm doing this, as I've mentioned before, is because it offers the best all-round sort of loadout in terms of taking down armor, taking down air vehicles, and taking down infantry. It gives you good splash damage if you're shooting down walls and all the rest of it. You should all know this by now, I've made plenty of videos on it before. With the countermeasure, APS is what I've chosen to go for. Smokescreen would be a good option on this map if you had a gunner who was like decent and could repair you all the time, but if you're like me and you spend a lot of time just in the tank, tanking alone, or maybe you've got squad mates in other vehicles, it's a good idea to go with APS. It just offers you that get out of jail free card all the time. I've then gone with the thermal camo. This is one of the best options for armoured vehicles that you can go for. Now the great thing about thermal camo is not only does it take you off the minimap against enemy tanks, enemy armour, enemy jets, etc. It takes you off the minimap against the commander. And quite often on these big games of Conquest, a commander is someone who can actually make quite a lot of difference, and dropping a cruise missile or keeping you spotted, HVT, all that stuff can be a big issue for you. So although it won't protect you against the HVT issue, what it will do is take you off the minimap if you're spotted after about 3 seconds, I think. And the amount of times that saved me when, you know, you've heard enemy cruise missile incoming and they're never anywhere near me, even if I'm on a streak, because the commander doesn't have a clue where I am. I then run with obviously the thermal as my optic. This is a no-brainer, especially on a map like this where there's so many infantry to deal with. And then I run as an engineer with the mechanic perk, again helping me if I'm in tandem with another friendly bit of armor. As you can see next to me, my mate benefits from me with me repairing him. I don't even have to get out for that to happen. That just happens if we're next to each other. As you can see now on this lane on the right hand side next to Bravo, this is an absolutely superb lane to push, assuming that you actually have Bravo, and keep the enemy tanks back. The enemy team don't want to give up this lane if possible, because then you've got a straight direct route to Alpha, and the thing is about the spawn is they're going to be pushing Bravo and your team are going to be spawning almost right in front of them, so it's really difficult for them to get down the hill, and you can just sit there in the tank, and unless a jet comes for you, there's not really too much that they can do, and you can just shoot stuff as it comes out of their base, or you can shoot stuff as they come across from Alpha. Now the reason I like this lane so much is because it is really, really easy to retreat back down underneath the dish. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds. Not only have you got a nice position just to almost farm enemies, you have a good retreat, and you have a lot of cover with Bravo as well. A lot of people were wondering the a few days ago when I was playing on a server. A couple of my mates were wondering, what is the best way to deal with a javelin or an RPG after it's hit you and completely immobilized you? You don't have a gunner, you've made a bit of a mistake and you've ended up getting shot and critically disabled. It happens to me all the time when, you know, you're not really paying attention, you've left an angle exposed or something and you end up getting shot. What's the best way to deal with it? What I've noticed most people do, as soon as they've taken the hit, if I'm ever gunning for someone, they hit APS. I completely fail to see the point in that, because you've already taken the damage and then you hit your APS and all they're going to do is hit you again, especially with the APS only lasting 2.5 seconds, and your critical disable thing is going to, you know, be a couple more seconds after that. So this is what I like to do. I get shot in the back, I'm on say 48 health, I bail out straight away and rep to about 55 health, just over that. Then if I get shot in the back again, I do the same thing, I rep and then hit APS and try and get out of there. But the chances are what will happen is you'll get shot in the back, you'll rep to 55, you can turn around and then block that incoming shot with your APS, and then by that time you can make an escape. So ideally what happens, you get shot in the back, you hop out, repair a couple just in case you do get hit again, because obviously 2 hits in the back kill you, hit your APS and make an escape. That APS will give you that extra 2.5 seconds that you need in order for that immobilization to go. Remember, he has to reload his RPG. So that is the most effective way I have found if you have actually been shot in the back and have no other option of getting out of there. Now you can see a bit of gameplay up on Delta, and they actually have Delta at this point, but I'm still trying my best just to actually cap the flag, and I'm paying attention to how the flag burn is changing and how we're actually taking the flag back. If the flag isn't actually moving and it's just me on there, I know there are multiple enemies. If the flag starts to move and as someone else joins, I know it's just one, and you can kind of work out how many enemies are on the flag at a single point. It's really, really useful if you can't see them, because obviously they're going to be hiding behind a little wall or something, and you can usually gauge where they are and you can just shoot a wall and hopefully find them. And that way is really important. And as you notice now, I get right away from Delta as soon as possible because the enemy have a gunship. I get underneath Charlie and then just start to pick off any enemies in the distance, getting rid of any mines that are in the way, and pushing my way down to Charlie just to get this flag capped. I also shoot friendly mines a lot of the time. A lot of people have noticed this as well. The reason for this is I got killed by a Mav once on friendly mines and it wasn't very funny, so I'm not gonna, you know, risk that again unless the mines are in a really decent position. I'm gonna just shoot them, and especially if I'm going to be driving backwards and forwards. If you leave a load of friendly mines up and a friendly tank shoots them, an RPG shoots them, it could be a grenade, it can be, I think even an incendiary could set them off. Some infantry can get a really nice kill on you and they didn't even do too much work. As you can see now, as we skip forward a little bit in the video, it is an absolute free-for-all. Our team has made a bit of a hash, I suppose I've made a bit of a hash of actually keeping our gimme flags. We've all pushed over to their base trying to take Alpha and Bravo, and not done such a good job of that either. But now we're stuck back at Echo, trying to sort of redo the whole thing again. All the flags have been contested, and the enemy gunship is up, so it's quite a shitstorm, if you like, to be honest, in the tank, because you've got such a lot of things to be thinking about. So first of all, what I think is a good idea to do is get myself under a little bit of cover, as the enemy gunship is probably going to make a gun run for me. And, you know, that's not something that you really want. Right now I'm in a bit of a tricky situation on Charlie. I have a gunner who won't get out and won't repair. I'm not going to risk getting out of my tank to repair because I don't want to lose the tank because I'm on a kill streak. And I've got a little bit of lag going on as well. All of this put together has made it a little bit difficult to actually play the game. So, and then just to make matters worse, I get a mobility hit in the side from an infantry. I don't know where it came from. It's too busy concentrating on my ping. So what I do now is, as you see, I don't bail, I don't panic. I wait for my critical disable to get there, get myself a bit of cover, and then reverse off back to my base, just getting a little bit of an angle on the enemy so they can't get any shots on me. Again, we skip forward because Boris refused to repair, so we had to wait there. Yeah, and we pushed back down to Charlie. Hopefully you sort of get this idea from this video about how to play Rogue. It's sort of all about that rotation between Charlie, Delta, Bravo, and then possibly Echo if you're on the Chinese side, or Alpha if you're on the Russian side. The idea being that you're always clearing up flags as a tanker. There's no point in you driving onto flags, stopping and driving back off them. I mean, it is good if you didn't have a turret to shoot people, but as you do, you have to go around and start clearing the flags off. It makes it a lot easier for your infantry. And also something people don't realise is capping these flags like Delta and Charlie prevent the enemy a spawn point. And that is one of the biggest things on Conquest, is preventing those spawn points. Enemies can spawn a lot closer if they have these flags and cap other flags, and that's what you want your team to be doing. Towards the end of the game now, it's getting pretty hectic, to be honest. It's been quite a close game, assuming it has been a 1,000 ticket game. And right at the end, we actually do get taken down, which is a bit of a pain, but we still managed to go on a 102 kill streak. Really, really nice. I'm impressed with it myself. It's a shame Boris didn't get off at the end to repair. I mean, we could have stayed alive, but I'm not going to complain. 102 kills is more than I could ask for. And then at the end of the game, I just spawn on my mate, try and give him some reps. And then, yeah, just try and cap the final flag before we unfortunately lose. I mean, I was gutted at the end of this game because it had been such a tough match, and the enemy had been pushing the whole time, and I'd been trying my best to actually get on flags and be aggressive as possible. But, you know, it just didn't work out. We had them for the first half of the game, but not for the second half. You get matches like this, and to be honest, I think that's what makes Conquest such a good game mode, because it can swing in against you or for you very, very quickly indeed. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. It was kind of a weird one. I don't really do these comms too often. If you did enjoy it, leave a like. Let me know what you want to see, any guides, stuff like that in the comments, and I'll get them out for you. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.